First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to everybody that got inducted tonight, and thank you for everybody coming out. It's actually very humbling. The funny thing about kind of this whole process, I got the call from Vic. My first response was, "You sure you got the right McKernan brother?" And then the power of social media. I'm sitting in my office at work, and someone I work with, husband is the basketball coach, and she walks in my office and talking to somebody. She goes, "Look at you got hair." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm also 60 pounds lighter, great." So anyway, that's kind of one of those things where I'm enjoying this. It's actually kind of funny watching those old games and kind of finding old videos of some of those clips. I somehow was able to get them, and I'd send them to Glenn Davis in the morning. And Glenn would come back to me and say, "Wow, did we win that game?" I'm like, "Yeah, we won in '92. And he's like, "I totally forgot." But he'd type me back and say, those are the best games he ever played. And he loved playing with those teams. So kind of the first and foremost, I want to start at the top and thank Father Duffy, even though he's not here. My mom will kind of tell the story if I'm kind of off, but somehow she was my brother was in 8th grade, so I was in 7th, and we were at Philip and James, and they were kind of deciding whether they wanted to go here or Bishop Shanahan, because it was a struggle in terms of you got to sacrifice to get here. So Father Duffy said something to my mom like, "You have a choice, and this is not the time you're going to let at the time my brother was 14 or 13, to let your 14-year-old son decide where to go. Send him to Malvern." And they did, and he came here, and I followed, and I can say this is the best thing that ever happened to me. From there, it goes to Mr. Stewart. I don't know if he's here or not, but either way, I still remember como estás, and I would say estoy bien, since he was my Spanish teacher, and also that I still kind of preach it to the guys that I coach and mentor, but A's open all doors, B's open some doors, and C's open no doors. And kind of just internalize that and kind of embrace it ever since I was probably sitting in this same auditorium years ago. From there is the teachers of Mr. McGuire, Mr. Ostick, Mr. Valio, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Roper, always challenging in class. I'm trying to think of who else. Great teachers, great people. You can always call, get them on the phone. I remember I was in Lafayette writing a paper on the Battle of Germantown, and I'm doing my research, and I see T.J. McGuire, author. Called him up, was on the phone for 2 hours. Yeah. Got it in. I did. Now, I did take AP Chem with Bernie Driscoll, and did the same thing. I got a 2 out of 10 on the quiz, so don't take AP Chem with Bernie. But he was a great teacher. Love him to death. You only kick them out of class every once in a while. But great teachers, and they set the pace, for what Malvern is. Everybody keeps talking about family, and they established that for me. Next thing, it goes to my coaches and teammates, and kind of another funny story. Trying to get this on the back end of the story, but I only got called into Mr. Stewart's office twice. The first time was my freshman year. This kind of will get into the baseball type of thing of teammates, but it was my freshman year when my father was in the hospital for the quadruple bypass, and he called me in. I kind of still always remember this. Mr. Stewart called me in and saying, "Your father's okay, good to go." And then going to baseball practice, and Coach Ford, Bill Ford was the coach at the time, and he cared about us, and he took my brother and I under his wing and said, "If you guys need anything, we got you covered. If you need anything, you need to step out of practice." So I always kind of remember that and appreciate it. The other funny thing is, then Coach Gross became our coach my sophomore year, and the other funny story of this is, as a kid, you get the little baseball cards, like 9 or 10 or 12, and you write Kevin McKernan, shortstop, right-handed thrower, right-handed pitcher, favorite player, Greg Gross. And I showed it to him first day of practice, and he was like, "Oh, great, get in line." So I still have it somewhere at home, and I know my mom has it at the house, but thanks Coach Gross for coming out and kind of setting the stage and having a great team and put us in the right direction. Actually, another funny story with that was, baseball's always kind of hard to get from running a team, and I remember sitting there showing up to practice one day, and we had probably like 4 brand new dozen or 6 brand new dozen Pearl baseballs. It was great. But then you looked at them and you're like, why is it signed by Kim Batiste and Jeff Grotwald? So all the guys that kind of weren't with the team anymore, he went down and picked up the Pearls for us, and we hit them for batting practice. It was great. Thanks, Coach Gross. Then you go to the teammates, and my brother kind of hit it right on the head when he was talking about the team of brothers, and it's kind of, you guys were talking about the theme overall tonight. You had the O'Brien brothers, the Kenny brothers, the Davis brothers, and then you had the McKernan brothers, and everybody cared about each other. I mean, I got a call from Matt O'Brien that night, said he couldn't be here, And the team never competed against each other, but it was always we're pulling for each other. And I said to Matt, I was like, Matt, in all honesty, you should be in, my brother should be in. And that whole team was amazing. When we talk about the quality of players, and this kind of goes into the younger guys that are here from Malvern, I would love to take that team and stack up against the guys from '09 or now, or be kind of fun little video game tournament. But either way, the team was just great guys. And still today, you can call them up, and they were talking about, someone mentioned earlier, is that it would just feel like it was yesterday watching that game or those clips, and I can still remember the games we were playing. And my brother again hit it on the head. That '92 team, when we won that championship, it was kind of another ironic story, was the guy I hit it off of was a teammate of mine at Lafayette, so I always rub that in a little bit. So, yeah. And finally, I just want to say, it kind of just goes to my friends from high school as well. You know, Eddie Burst is just here, John Krasmiski, Clint should be here, I can't see. But thanks for coming. I want to thank my friends that are here supporting me. It means a lot to me and my family. And it's kind of with my family, it's my sister, my little sister. Granted, she went to Villa, so I always thought she came to watch my brother and I play, but it was more, probably come to see some other people. Just saying. But anyway, she was always a great little sister, and now that I have nieces and nephews, you can see the little sister always getting drugged around to the older brother's events. Speaking of my older brother, Brian, love him to death, best friend in life. It's kind of weird that, we played all 4 years in high school, my 4 years in high school, 3 years in high school. Then we went and played at Lafayette together, and then he called me back again a couple years ago to start playing baseball, and it's always been there, so thank you, Brian. And then Mom and Dad, like I said, I've only made my mom cry twice. So the first time was my senior year, when the other time Mr. Stewart called me in his office because of the Walsh Memorial Award, and then this time she cried, so thanks, Mom. And then Dad, thank you.